and know that we'd just moved in. She stood up. Maybe later today I could help you unpack the boxes if you want. No, I'll do it when I'm ready. I had tried unpacking one of the boxes, but each item brought up memories of my mom. I could remember shopping with her for each piece of clothing that I had. The conversations on size and fit, and Mom pushing me to get the yellow silk shirt because she loved that colour on me. The book, 7 Years in Tibet, had been in the box. It had a stain on the cover from when I knocked over a blue candle on top of it. Mom had been upset with me because that book was one of the few things she had from her childhood. I had promised to be more careful, and we'd ended up reading a chapter in the book together and discussing it like we always did, with our feet touching under the Harry Potter blanket that she got me for Christmas when I was 11. Memories of my childish joy when I unwrapped my present and saw that she had bought the Ravenclaw one, and made me hug her so tight that she laughed and told me I was strangling her. Yesterday, when I found the Ravenclaw blanket in the box, it had made me sob with grief. I'd known that even though I was 17 and had moved past Harry Potter, I would treasure that blanket for the rest of my life. My hand touched it as my heart began beating faster at the sound of heavy steps coming up the stairs and moving down the hallway outside my room. Liv had left my door ajar, and sitting up against my headboard, I waited for Damian to enter. His large frame filled my doorway as he tapped a knuckle on the door. "May I come in?" "Yes." I pushed my long black hair behind my shoulders and watched him step inside. There was no chair for him to sit on, so I pulled my knees up and nodded to the end of my bed. "Hey, Lumi." My bed dipped as Damian sat down. "You look different," I muttered and studied him closer. Like me, Damian had brown eyes and dark hair, but his eyes had an almond shape that made him look as if he had a bit of Asian heritage. "Perhaps it's because I'm not in uniform." He had a pronounced Irish accent that made his speech sound friendly and melodic. I loved the Irish accent, but I didn't have one myself. My mother had been born in London, and my teacher had been from England too. Liv teased us children that we would make great announcers on the BBC because we spoke very properly. How could we not, after having Conor O'Brien as our teacher? He had cared a great deal about our sounding sophisticated and cultivated. "You think I look different?" Damian touched his hair. "I styled my hair so you can see that I don't always have helmet hair." My eyebrows drew together. "You styled it for me?" He nodded. "How's your ankle?" "Better." "My ankle is fine." I wrapped my arms around my legs and lowered my head to my knees. "Thank you for saving me." "My pleasure." Damian gave me a sad smile. "I'm sorry about your mum, lass." My nose tickled the way it always did when I felt tears prickling behind my eyelids. I wish that we could have saved her too. I didn't want to cry, but the mere mention of my mom set me off. Using the heels of my hands, I dried away the tears that I didn't want to shed in front of a stranger. "I've been thinking about you a lot," Damian said with sympathy. "How are you coping with everything?" I try not to think of it, but it's hard. I nodded my head at the boxes on the floor. We were allowed to retrieve things from our rooms, and your sister was kind enough to pack everything in my room. But I can't look at it. Everything reminds me of my mum. "You shared a room with her, didn't you?" "Yes, it was only my mum and me." "Where's your dad?" "Maybe he still teaches at Cambridge." I shrugged. "All I know is that he was her professor. Mum told me he was the most brilliant man she knew, but impregnating a student when he was married and already had a family wasn't very bright, was it?" "But if he had a family, that means you might have siblings." My fingers played with my bedsheet. My mother was...